Thanks for joining me tonight. My name is Mike Tellerino. I'm going to be your host tonight. We've got a gentleman by the name of William Shehan. He is the CEO and founder of No Salt Sailing. Bill, did I get that all right?
Yes. That's
William, I'm sorry, William.
yeah. I'm the founder, poster child, you name it. Kind of.
I know the feeling. Um, William, why don't you start out telling us a little bit backstory about what this is all about? How did it come about?
Well, Michael ended up with when I got out, I was injured, and you know how the VA is, and I tried all the different modalities. I tried these different things. I went ahead and did certain things, and they worked a bit. They did pretty good. I even started a previous one years and years ago called Chess for Vets, where I would actually play chess. And I figured if I can get some control of the 64 squares on the board, I could get a little control of my life. But as we all do, I got a little bit too much into it, started competing, going to nationals, Chicago Open, things like that, and said, all right, this is now no longer a good modality. It's actually as much a stressor as anything else.
Right.
So then a buddy of mine, I had been sailing as a kid, sailed most of my life, and decided that I was going to try to return to it. I went out sailing, and I've had the magical moment of being there and going that, all right, this is really cool. I have an opportunity. I'm relaxing. I get out on the water. You're control of the tiller or the wheel. You are the interface between the wind and the sea and all of that. So you can have the opportunity. You can't pay attention to what's going on in your head. You got to pull your head out of your ass and pay attention, right then and there to what's going on. And
Right.
in November 22, my family and I were up in Washington Island, Door County, and I said, you know what, guys, I think I would like to bring this out and help other vets. And you see the shirts that say "No salt sailing," "No salt," these other things about Lake Michigan. Well, there are 2 points to that, and I'll cover that in a minute. But so I looked it up. The domain No Salt Sailing was available. All right, there's check number one. Then there was the No Salt Sailing was available as a corporation. So we found it, and in January we had our letter of from the IRS of a 501c. That was all good. Last year we started our first session. We had over the season we had 4 sessions with 42 vets, about 1,300 hours on and off the water of training. We raised a little bit of money, about 8,000 last year. Some of that was through me doing work, and I kind of did that this year as well, doing some work, doing those things. But the other side, besides no salt in Lake Michigan, one of our mottos is no salt, no sharks, no stress, is if you've ever been to the beach or you've been out, if you've ever done anything in deep water where there's salt water, that stuff gets on you and it just abrades on you. It wears you down, wears your clothes down. The old sailors would actually get sores because even when they wash their body in the salt, whatever, it would stay on there and it would abrade them. They'd have these sores on them. Well, if you think about it, those of us that come out of the military, out of service, right? We have that stuff that's just still abrading at us. It may be in our mind, it may be somewhere in our body, it may be in all these different places. So no salt is also what we do is you come out on a sailing sailing adventure therapy. And you come out with us and hopefully can wash some of that salt off, and you come out a few more times. You enjoy sailing, we can get you involved in the sailing community. And that was kind of my impetus and motivation for doing this is with myself. And then probably like you do, sir, I feel better when I'm helping others because I'm not, it gives me a motivation and a purpose to do something.
That's amazing. Where are you based out of? Why don't we get that out there?
We're out of Montrose Harbor. We part of our program we actually work with civilian skippers that have their boats, and they come over and volunteer time on their vessels. We have our own vessels, but what we do, it isn't just like a lot of the other sailing programs. You have the sailing and you do the session and then you go away and then you don't really sail again or have the opportunity. So what we do, and that's one of our vessels there, Aeolus. But what we do is we take them out on with skippers and we introduce you if you want to cruise, with this cruiser, if you want to race, we can get you hooked up in the racing community. One of our sponsors is Rail Meets, which is a program where you actually get a chance to go and connect with anybody that's looking for crew. Even if you're a beginner, they'll bring you on and you get some training. One of the things that our program offers is when you're done, you actually do get a U.S. sailing certificate for first sail, which gets you start building your resume for sailing and being on cruise if you want to, or you can do. We have an overnight sail in Labor Day weekend where we're going to sail down to Michigan City and then come back up, and it's about a 8 to 10 hour sail depending on the how the weather is at that time. So we're going to stay down there overnight and come back up. So that's going to be a long sail. We do some crossing sails. We're going to do some other things. So we get you connected into the sailing community that if you want to do it every weekend, you can find a place, or during the week, you can find somebody looking for crew. So it's, part of what we do is out of Montrose Harbor, but we will be going to other harbors like Belmont, which is just down the street. We have a Chicago, not many people know this, is the largest municipal harbor system in the States.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Chicago has more slips than San Diego, California.
Really?
Yeah, we're that's why you hear a lot of people referring to it as third coast. We're a really large um, sailing community, not just for sailing, but for boating, harbors. There are boats that are running. So if somebody wants to start with us and seek their captain's license, we have a way to help them get into do their captaincy as well.
Bill, William, how does this benefit the veteran?
Well, Dr. Marchand out at Salt Lake, Utah, VA, did a study, and we're tagging onto him, and I'm working with the Great Lakes, Dr. Hudson, and their Payne University up there, so that people can see how it helps. And we did a survey. It's called a PACES. It's the physical activity education. Did you enjoy it? Basically, a survey, and everybody said that they found that this was a form of release from a lot of the stress. And Dr. Marchand's study also showed that they can actually, you go out, you come sailing, you get a little more relaxed. Also, if you want to bring that other slide up, at the end of our weekend, our day, we have a huge barbecue. So it creates this sense of community that we miss sometimes when we come out of the military.
Right. That's very big.
And we have a big barbecue at the end of every session, and people can come out every time if they want to, if we have enough slots, or they can come out during the week when I'm doing other things and go out sailing with us. We can connect them up with a lot of different programs and a lot of different ways, but it has been shown to help with some people, to help with PTSD, and there are things that they can work on. It may not be the modality for you, but it does give the opportunity for you to come out and try it and see if this is something that works for you.
You've been doing this for how long now?
Well, I've been sailing since I was about seven or eight, but we started this last year was our inaugural season. And like I said, we had 4 sessions. We had 3. We opened up another one because we had a big push and people just wanted to come out. This year we have 7 sessions, and we already have about 35 people signed up. So we expect to probably we went 42 last season. I expect to probably triple that and break into triple digits this year.
What does it take for a veteran to get involved with no salt sailing?
Simply go onto our website, it's nosaltsailing.org. The pop-up will take you to the link, or you can click on the registration. Then once you send that in, then I send out an email to let you can go in and pick which dates you want to have, and then it's $1 to hold your slot, and that's it. We feed you 3 meals. You get to go out sailing, and one of the things I wanted to do was to create this so that, because a lot of people might want to get out and try the water, but the entry cost to sailing or boating in general is not cheap, and no one wants to go spend $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 to buy a boat and try it and go, man, I hate this. So this gives you the opportunity. And we did have one guy that went out after last season, and he bought a boat, and he's going to be part of our team this year, and his boat will be available for people to sail out on.
Now, how difficult is it to sail, to learn how to, sail one of those huge boats? I mean,
Well, we start you off on our 20, 27, 30s, 40 footers. But what we would do is the first part of the day from 9 to about 11 is what we call ground school. And we teach you a lot of the basics. Then myself, Captain Miguel, he's been sailing since he was about 16. He probably has about 500,000 miles under his keel. He does a lot of transatlantic, these things. So he's been instructing. We're both U.S. sailing instructors. So even when we're on the boat, you're not going to sit there. This isn't a pleasure cruise, but it's not going to be dangerous. But you come out, we talk
right.
about safety. You're going to pull the ropes. You're going to get up there, pull the lines. We're going to tack. We're going to talk you through everything. Someone's going to be in the tiller or the wheel, depending on the boat we have. And we're just going to go over it. And by the time you're going to be competent enough that you might not want to buy your own boat and sail by yourself, but it will give you the opportunity to feel more confident. And the next time you come out, and if you come out again or go with someone else, you've got the ground school, you've got your first sail done under your belt, and you just build on your level from there.
Is there any cost to the veteran for any of this?
Just the dollar to hold their slot. And if
That's
they're and if they get really bad and they show up and they say I could barely afford the dollar, I'm happy to give it back to you. But we feed you 3 meals, and we figure the cost is when we were working on trying to raise funds for that. For all 7 sessions, is about $8,000 for
Wow.
food, for all the meals and everything. So
That's amazing what you're doing. I know a lot of our veterans that are suffering from PTSD, they're all looking for an outlet. And like you said, when being in the military, we always had somebody who had our back. We had a battle buddy, somebody who was always there for us. When we come home, we don't have that. We're sort of lost as to what we're going to do with ourselves because we're so used to being told what to do, when to do it, how to do it, why we're doing it. That, when we come home, I mean, it's now what? And I've been talking to a lot of our veterans about no salt sailing, and I can't believe the interest that they've had in wanting to learn more about it. I mean,
well,
I never thought about this.
yeah,
I
I got a funny story. One of our board members, we were finished the sale, and the whole group of servicemen and women came off. There was about 5 or 7, between 5 and 7, I don't remember exactly, and they were all standing there. And she actually went down and said, "All right, we're going to move over here," and everybody moved off. And later on, she was just laughing. It's like you could tell someone was waiting for someone to tell them to do. And as soon as they did it, they went and did it. But it was just, they were like
exactly,
waiting for that input of, all right, we're
exactly.
here now. We'll hurry up and wait. Now what?
And, this just gives our veterans another option.
Yes.
And there's not many options out there for our veterans. I know our service dog program that does a lot to help our veterans get through the day. But this, to me, gives them something to really aspire to or look forward to. I mean, they were really excited about learning more about your program, and I never thought about sailing therapy. I mean, there's horses for therapy, there's service dogs for therapy, but no salt sailing. I never would have dreamed about that. But it's really an amazing thing what you're doing.
Well, thank you. I'm just happy that I'm able to do so and able to provide this for our brothers and sisters. You
Yeah,
know,
it's a gift that we can give them, something to help them.
service dogs are welcome, Michael. So that's.
So if they have a service dog, they can go on a boat with them.
Yes.
Wow. I think you're going to be getting a lot of really good feedback from our veterans that are really interested in learning more about your program. um, I just It's different. It totally is different from anything that I heard about. And so when we met and you were telling me about it, I'm thinking, no salt sailing, you know but it really is an awesome program. It really is. I just wanted to get more people out there knowing about what you're doing, and especially for our veterans to let them know that, hey, this is something that could help you.
Yeah. And we don't just, you can bring your family, because if you think about it, there's, just, okay, like myself, right? But then I have my family that are all, they're all touched by my craziness, right? So that's four other people that can benefit as well.
Right.
And so you think of what, there's 65,000 disabled veterans in Illinois.
Yes.
Now multiply that by a factor of five if you put their family members in
Oh,
roughly.
I know. It's crazy.
It's an insane number of people that just, and a lot of the programs are fantastic, but they don't generally have family members included in them.
Right.
So we want to go out. We had a guy, he was terrified of the water, didn't want to go, but we took his kids out and they had a blast. And then he came back. They came back and he was on the dock at the barbecue with us. So, but they were able to tell him, and he said he's going to try again this year, and maybe he'll make it out this year.
That's great. Even at our training classes with the service dogs, we encourage the family to come
Great.
to watch them watch their husband, son, daughter, whoever actually train with that dog. It really has a way of bringing the family closer together. And what I would assume by being with them on the boat, that it's really a great way for the family to bond.
Yeah, you get a chance to, and then you go back and you're talking about it for, time, and then you see a boat out on the water and you think about it. Then off season, what we try to do is we do this next season, we're going to have some continuing ed classes, some boat work, some maintenance. Like if you do decide to buy a boat, what does that entail? What do you have to do? And then I do boat deliveries, which are coming up here in the next few weeks. So if there's somebody in our program, I usually reach out and see if anybody wants to do the delivery with me. And that could be anywhere from a 4 hour sail to maybe an 8 hour sail. Could-
Wow,
It could be a power boat. It could be, because I'll do pretty much anything for the deliveries, and then all that money just goes back into the organization.
that's great. It
You
really
sure
is.
can't do it off of my VA check.
Well, have you had a lot of veterans go through this program?
Like I said, we had 42 last year, and I expect we're going to triple that, be in the triple digits, probably 120, if not more.
Where's your biggest audience from?
Word of mouth. Our very first person, I got into an Uber, right? Leaving one harbor, going to another, and she was talking about her husband. He's in his 80s, and talking about him and how he always wanted to go sailing. We invited them out. And what was interesting about him is he had lived near Montrose, but had never once been on the other side of those gates onto the docks.
Hmm.
And to him, it was like, it was this moving moment of, wow, I'm on this side. I get to go out and sail, as opposed to being, on the other side. Not, it's like he'd seen it all his life, but never been out.
I to me, the water has a very calming effect.
Yes.
I mean, on me it does anyway. I can't speak for everybody, but I know when I'm out on the water, which I'm not often, but when I am, I just find it very relaxing, very calming. Um, I think it's really be great for the veterans that are stressing about something to find that tranquility of being out there on that boat with you and your crew and just enjoying the day.
And it helps build your
Get away
confidence.
from all
Once you've done this stuff and you start realizing the difference between port and starboard, and you're doing these different things, and we say, all right, we're going to tack. Well, the first time you're like, what the heck does that mean? But about the third or fourth time, the crew will start to gel, and then when you get off and you step back onto the docks, you actually have this level of confidence and knowledge that you
yeah.
did not have before.
To me, anything that we can do to help our veterans de-stress or have something to look forward to, it's a gift. It really is, because we need to do more for our veterans, and they have a program like yours, and for all you're doing. I mean, you are putting a lot into this program.
Well,
Yeah,
it's a labor of love, and I know
right.
that so many people like myself. There was I was my modality, and I did not realize that I was doing the same thing. I went to group therapy, and I was talking to the guys there, and they were talking. Some of them were talking about the drugs and alcohol and this, that, and the other. And then I told my story, and I did not have a home to to call my own until I was in my 30s. Because what I did is I would go to a place. Like I worked for R. Donnelly and Sons. I would do really well. Then people would get too close to me, and then I would move to another company. I'd move to Denver, do the same thing. Move to Seattle, do the same thing. So for 20 some almost 20 years, I just moved around, but I felt bad in group because these guys were doing stuff, it was like that. And they're like, brother, you're doing the same thing. It's just socially acceptable. And so I didn't realize that I was running from all
Yeah.
those things. And it wasn't until I finally stopped, stayed here, stayed in group, started the different modalities that I got to the point where I am able to help. And I want to be able to find that person that maybe they've tried the other ones and just not working. They want to come out and spend some time with us. Maybe it helps. We had an E7 that I shared. Sorry, I shared my story with her on one of our sales, and she said, I didn't realize that I was not facing my issues. 2 weeks later, I was in at the VA picking up some prescriptions. I ran into her, and she said she had finally gone started the PTSD program and was getting some help.
You know, as you well know, being a veteran yourself and myself, the hardest thing for a veteran to do is to admit that he needs help. And really, it is. I mean,
Yes.
because to them it shows a sign of weakness. I'm tough. I can do anything. I can. This is just a phase that I'm going through right now. I'll get past this. But until they ask for help, they're never going to get better.
Yeah.
Just like that young lady. Had she not reached out and started getting help, she'd have been stuck in that same fish barrel forever
Yeah.
until she reached out and got help. So what you're doing by offering these veterans an alternative, and I think it's so unique what you're doing. It's I mean, if you like the water, you like boating, here's an opportunity
You
for
like eating barbecue?
but yeah, but here's and the camaraderie too that you're sharing with these other veterans together, bringing them together.
Yes.
Nobody knows a veteran better than another veteran.
Yeah, that is so true.
You know what I'm saying? When we put a veteran in the service dog program, um, they get to work with other veterans training their dog because they've been where these other veterans are been through what they've been through.
Yeah.
So it's really just a win-win all the way around. William, what's the best way for someone to reach out and really get involved with this for you, your program?
If they go to the website, nosaltsailing.org, or they can send me an email at captain@nosaltsailing.org. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. If you Google No Salt Sailing, we'll come up at the top. We've done pretty good with that. But just and then there's a contact form on there. You can send me a message through Facebook, send me an email on Instagram, send me a message. Any of those ways you want to reach out and get a hold of me, you can find different ways.
Then they can reach out to me, and I'll be more than happy to forward your information about no salt sailing to them. I can't thank you enough for what you're doing for our veterans.
Well, thank you for having me, and I really appreciate it. And I've got my dogs are scratching at the door here too, and I understand they go in my car with me because some days I'm having some issues. I have my dogs with me. I'm able to calm down, focus on them and what they need, and feel a
They're
little bit better.
they're an amazing gift. They really are. I tell everybody they're never going to cure PTSD, but it just make getting through the day so much easier.
Yes,
Somebody just chimed in and said, "Yeah, we do. We need to lower that number. If we had one veteran a day committing suicide, it'd be one too many."
yeah, and that's part of our program is we want to we don't focus directly on that, but we hope to give a thing so that we can get less than that 22 a day. If we get one person like that E7, maybe that was one of her thoughts, and instead of that, she went and got some help, and that would be, fantastic.
Well, listen, again, anything we could do to help our veterans overcome that PTSD,
You
find
know,
a
and I
way.
have TBI, so when I got hit, I had to reteach myself higher math. So, I understand the struggles. I'm always there. I'm the first one to admit my faults, and I tell everybody that I've got my failures. This is where I am. This is what. So, if anything you say to me, it's always a safe space. And as I said on the ABC 7, while I'm not a therapist, this is a safe place, and I'm always happy to hear and never judge.
God bless you. Again, I want to thank you for what you're doing for our veterans. Again, when I found out about no salt saline, I gotta look into this. I gotta learn a little bit more about this. And we had met. Where did we meet at? We met at some event. Was
They
it?
were at the Chicago Veterans was kind enough to honor me as one of the
Oh yeah,
23 veterans in 23. So that's where we met. I had my dress blues on, it, monkey suit on, and everything that
yeah.
night.
I was there as honored as well, and
Yeah,
there was a lot. I met a lot of good veterans there that night that were being honored along with us. That it just did my heart warm.
yeah. One of them who was there that night, she wasn't one of the 23, but she's actually scheduled to come out with us and bringing her nieces, who their dad was Navy, she's Army. It's all they're bringing that all those out, and then Carrie, who was also one of our 23, she's our real estate agent, helping us sell one house and buy another. So we try to keep our family moving forward and keep it all connected, and we know we're going to look out for each other.
God bless you. Again, this is William with No Salt Sailing. If you have any inclination that you want to get out there and try this, please don't hesitate. Give William a call. Hit him up on Facebook.
You can call. I'll put that. You can call me at 312-342-5642, or captain at nosaltsailing.org, or go online to nosaltsailing.org under contacts. Check us out on Facebook or Instagram. We're all over, and you'll get me because I'm the one that does everything, kind of like you, Michael. So,
Been there and done that.
yeah.
William, I want to thank you for being my guest tonight. And anything Canine could do or myself to help facilitate this even more for our veterans, do not hesitate to ask. Because I think
I
what
think it'd be a
you're doing,
great day to do a dog day on the dock.
you know what? Take the dog sailing. That'd be
Right.
great. William, thank you for your time tonight. I really appreciate it. I'm sure our viewers learned a lot about it and is going to spread the word about it. And hopefully, we have a lot of veterans take advantage of this awesome program because it is truly a great deal for them.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Michael. Thank you for your time tonight.
God bless you. Thank